Hi folks, welcome to MTS. Today I have a modern Lionel General 440 steam locomotive that I picked up off of eBay as not working. The description states that when powered up it will not run. Engine sounds like it's working, but nothing happens. Based off of that, it sounds like it could be gear related, possibly something with the motor. For a little more than $50 after shipping and taxes, I'm up for the challenge. Let's start by removing the engine and tender. Basic tender. A little dusty. It does look like it's got a smoke unit built into it. First thing we'll do, go ahead and take the shell, remove the shell. Oh, it's got a little broken piece here that should go back together pretty easily with a little epoxy. But like I say, we're going to go ahead and start with removing the shell, and we'll go from there. Okay, the first thing I'm already seeing, let me see if I can get this where you guys can see it. If you notice, this wire is bare. It's got a lot of spots where it's either heated up or just maybe has worn from the back and forth of that metal. So that could be our issue right there. And just looking kind of at the gearing mechanism, seems like everything's okay. It's just really dirty. As far as removing the shell, there's a screw in the very back. We'll remove this screw in the front. Remove the front pilot truck. I have a feeling and we'll keep that spring together. This is definitely a problem. Possibly causing a short somewhere. This is metal. All this is plastic, but this is metal, so if that was leaning against the metal, then that definitely could be our issue. I'm going to have to replace this wire anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this wire out of there, and you can see it's pretty crispy. There we go. Okay, got that out. Got that out. We'll remove the switches. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I see what needs to happen. This has to lift up, and there's a wider opening on the front here. So theoretically, if this undoes, it slides that way, and then this shell will come off the rest of the way. Okay. Remove that. We still have the smoke unit wires that run through here. Smoke unit wires came on through. Let's see if my theory is correct here. Oh, and things are happening. There we go. Alright. Oh yeah. So there's another telltale sign. We've got a piece of melted electrical tape. And this is what I was seeing earlier. I can show you guys now. Yeah, there's all kinds of issue here. That looks corroded. I think it's just the copper seating. But yeah, so this whole wire here is going to have to be redone. It looks like there's two of them. I'm going to say one goes to the smoke unit. So that's got to happen first, and then we can proceed to test and see if this board's any good, or if the electrical board's already been shorted out. What I'm doing now is I'm heating up my soldering iron. So that's heating up. This is actually soldered on the end here. So I'm going to desolder that and then try to trace where these wires go, make sure I'm tracing them correctly. And we can go from there, because it looks like there's two wires that branch off of here. But I'm only seeing one wire here. Okay, got you zoomed in here a little bit more. This is what we're dealing with. We're going to see if we can't get that. See if this is hot enough yet. All right, here we go. Okay, folks, so I was able to, there were two wires. Let me see if I can zoom you in on what I'm looking at here. So here's the other wire. All right, and it runs down below this weight. So what I'm going to do, there's a screw here that clips this back plate for the circuit board assembly. I'm going to undo that, see if we can't figure out where that goes. Okay, I see what it is now. So there's another weight in the back. There's a screw in the very back here that's going through. I'm going to undo that. Okay. Oh, there we go. The whole assembly comes out with the weight. I'm going to flip that over. So I'm going to get to this screw. That should remove that out. And there we go. There's the wire. So there were two wires. Zoom in. Right there. I'm going to heat up the soldering iron. We'll go remove that. And I'll get the replacement wire set up. We'll get that redone and go from there. So while we're waiting for the soldering iron to heat up, I was able to salvage that horseshoe clip. So we're going to put that into place. I'm going to solder this end where we can reuse that. And I've already got this piece of wire here where it will solder to that copper plate at the bottom here. First we'll get this out of here. There we go. Okay. Okay. Of heat shrink tubing around that just to help it make it finish it up, make it look a little neater. Okay. There we go. That'll look better. Okay, let's see if that did it. As you can see, this is what we cleaned out of there. This is a power wire. So that's the reason why it's split off into two. This provides power to the smoke unit in the front, and then the copper plate that I had soldered it to is connected to the roller pin. We have life. Hold on. There we go. Well, went for a second. Switch the switch back around here. All I've had to do is just replace the wire. We've got a working motor. May have something wrong with the reverse board here, the electronic reverse board. That may be a reason why it's not engaging, going in reverse. It's only going in one direction. So we're going to tie these wires up, put another piece of tape over top of that, so we get rid of the piece that's melted. So this is where the repair went off the rails, so to speak. I've edited out about 45 minutes of raw video just trying to figure this one out. My original diag was correct, and after first replacing the fried wires and getting the locomotive back together, I determined that the electronic reverse board was faulty, as it would run in forward, but as soon as I cut the power, it would not move. However, after sitting a few minutes, it would run in forward again and then repeat the same pattern. I know, weird, right? I decided to replace the board with a used board that I knew ran in forward only. Taking the locomotive apart again, and slightly easier this time, but still a pain. I desoldered the original board, then resoldered the replacement board. Prior to putting the locomotive back together, I tested to make sure when power was applied, the locomotive would go in forward with success. Well, no. After putting the locomotive back together again, this time making sure to route the wires for the smoke heater and the power for the headlight carefully. Same issue repeated on this board. How is this possible, right? Okay, it was a used board, so maybe I messed something up when I soldered it back in place. After thinking about it, it's probably a capacitor that still has a charge preventing the locomotive to cycle correctly, but it's a simple board, right? Actually, after going back through some of this video, I did notice that it worked fine until I turned on the smoke heater, and as soon as I did that, it went back into that cycle. So maybe even something to do with that. Good news is that Lionel carries these PCBs, but after shipping and taxes, we're looking at approximately $40. So now my $50 project on eBay will now be closer to $100. So I wanted to share this video to let y'all see sometimes these gambles just don't pay out. But on the plus side, I now have experience putting these modern generals together and taking them apart. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video and at least maybe even pick something out of it. I have another project lined up here soon. We'll see if it works out a little better. There we go. remember that we have to put on the spring. Here, that was easy. Now I have the smoke in the on position. And this is where I basically came to the realization that I'm going to need a new board to replace this existing board. I hope to have a new board soon where I can do a follow-up video as a short running this locomotive around the layout. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the line.